If you're vague about the question, then they're going to give you vague answers. And that's why there's a difference in like, do you feel like this could be the answer for you? The really important part is that what happens if your partner says no? That's the trickiest part of a partner objection. You have to be able to ask that question many times in many different ways until you get an answer.
We're pretty niche. It's not like we're like a plumber or something. There aren't like thousands of us. So I don't know. And you show me some niche examples. So again, I would hope it would work, but I just have to try it and see how it's going.
We can always say the if it worked thing. You know, if you got a lottery ticket, if it worked, that'd be a great investment, right? There's sort of no way to know on that one. All we can do is put ourselves in a position to be able to succeed. All right, guys, today what we're going to be going over is role play. Okay. So we're going to be hearing more specifics. Okay. But what we'll do is we'll have someone hop up and be a prospect. And then we'll just go through baseline. You can do some tricky shit if you want, but whatever. So who's like half decent at being a prospect? What about you, Ben? Ben Katzenbach. You have a great background.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. All right. What do you sell? What?
Social media marketing.
Okay. That makes sense. Okie dokie. All right. So I'll be the sales guy.
Cool.
And go from there. All right, Ben. It's XYZ money for some social media marketing. How do you want to proceed?
Yeah, no, I think it all sounds good. I just need to.
How's that?
What do you mean?
You think it sounds good?
Oh, yeah, no. Like I liked what you went over. You know, if it works, I think that it'd be good for us. I just need to check with the bean counters and make sure that, you know, we have the funding for it.
Okay, that makes sense. Money aside, though, do you feel like this could be the answer for you?
Yeah, I think it could be.
Why's that? Why do you feel it could?
Well, I mean, you guys obviously, like, you know, you have a lot of strong case studies, and seems like the strategy has worked for other people. And, you know, so if we were able to get like millions of views, then obviously that would, you know, help us get where we need to go.
Yeah, maybe. Right. Hopefully. Is there anything specific that I've kind of put together that you feel like would be like, like that's what we've been missing, or kind of the key to the castle for you?
Yeah, I just think it's like all the little stuff you guys talked about, you know, the research and the, you know, hooks, frameworks, all that kind of stuff. I just think that that's what we're missing.
Okay. I guess like, so what are some ways that I guess you can come up with the funds to where you can get access to that hooks, the frameworks, you know, be one of those next testimonials, right?
Yeah. No, it's just, you know, we're spending a lot on marketing in other areas. And so it's just a matter of, you know, pulling some funding from those marketing sources and kind of putting them into this.
Do you feel like that'd be worth doing?
If it worked, I think it would be, yeah.
Okay. And how are you going to know if that's going to be a good decision or not?
That's a great question. I really think you know, I guess I just have to try it.
Okay. All right. Well, like, I guess, do you feel like what we put together would be worth trying?
Yeah, I think it would.
Okay. Besides what you've already said, is there anything else that like makes you, I guess, more or even maybe like less confident that it would work?
I mean, it's just like, you know, we're pretty niche. It's not like we're like you know, a plumber or something. There aren't like thousands of us. So I don't know. Like I would hope it, and you show me some niche examples. So again, I would hope it would work, but I just have to try it and see how it's going.
Okay. All right, cool, man. And so like, is it the upfront amount that's kind of, you know, making the risk tolerance a little bit hard to bear? Or if we broke it up for you, like, would that help?
Yeah, breaking it up, that could help for sure. As far as getting together.
Yeah. Do you want to have that conversation?
Yeah. What would that look like?
Yeah, for sure, man. It's pretty normal, right? A lot of clients that come to us because they're looking to get more reach, which equals more income, right? You know, they might be allocating resources that doesn't quite make sense or isn't getting the ROI. Yeah, so it's pretty normal to break it up, right? So we usually do, you know, X payments over XYZ. Like, would that help more within kind of your current budget?
Yeah, that would be better for sure.
Okay, cool. Well, if you feel like it works out and you feel like it works in the budget and it puts you in the best position to be able to kind of get your outcome, like, how do you want to proceed from here?
Yeah, no, I think that would work. I just want to go to the team and just make sure, you know, my partner is 50-50 on this thing. And just out of respect, just want to talk to them about it first.
Yeah, for sure. If your partner was on the call, you know, and they had kind of all the context and like they're here right now, I guess, do you feel like they'd be on board with you putting in a system like this to where you can get more views and, you know, you feel like that'd be a good allocation of resource?
I don't know if they would. They're kind
What do you
of
think? Do you think your partner might be most apprehensive about?
just like, I think they're just skeptical about social media in general a little bit,
Okay.
right? Like they kind of push towards more of like the Google click, like SEO kind of a thing. And so I just
Okay.
have to make sure that they were okay with the spend there.
For sure, man. And like, I guess like what, like in terms of like delegation of priorities in the business, like, do you guys have kind of set roles? Like, what's your role versus like their role? Like whose domain does this sort of sit in?
Yeah. So I'm the CEO, and they're kind of, they're the CMO. They also do like operations a little bit too.
Okay.
So it's important to get the the buy-in from marketing for
Oh
this.
yeah. No, for sure, man. For sure, man. But like ultimately, who is the person who, I guess, bears the responsibility whether this works or fails?
I mean, I guess at the end of the day, buck stops with the CEO, so it's me.
Okay. All right, cool. And do you feel like this puts you in the best position possible to be able to actually achieve your outcome?
If it worked, yeah, I think it could for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, we can always say the if it worked thing. Do you know what I mean? If you got a lottery ticket, if it worked, that'd be a great investment, right? You know what I mean? But there's sort of no way to know on that one. All we can do is put ourselves in a position to be able to succeed.
Sure.
So do you feel like doing something like this puts you in a good position to be able to succeed?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And so ultimately, like, let's say you go to your partner and he's just like, no, I just don't see it. Like, what happens then?
Man, we'd have to have a kind of a hash it out conversation.
Yep. And then
But
at the end of that conversation, he goes, nope, I don't see it. What happens at the end of that conversation?
There's no way he says that.
Well, what if he does?
Mm,
What if he's had a bad day? I don't know if he's married, but Mrs. has been, difficult to deal with. Things have been going. He hasn't slept for a couple of days. He's in a bad mood, and he's just like, nah, fucking SEO. What happens then?
Man, I don't know. I mean, I think, I just have to talk him into it.
But what if you couldn't?
Well, if I wanted to do it, I'd do it anyway.
Why?
Because it's kind of like you said, like the buck stops with me. And so,
Okay. All right. So like, man, like, there's a couple ways that we can do this. And I think either way would work. It just depends on how you approach it. Generally speaking, when like in this scenario, like I'm a fan of the confident approach, right? But you can go to your partner and go, hey, there's this thing I kind of sort of maybe want to do, right? I think it's a good idea, but like, I want to get your feedback, let's see if we can maybe do this, right? The other way is like, hey, there's this thing that I think that we should do. This is what I want to do, and this is what we will do, right? But obviously I respect it. So what I've done is I've gone and done this. But obviously, like, if you're not on board with it, then I can just call them right now and we can take it away, right? But, I feel like this is enough of a thing where I wanted to commit to it, right? So like, which way do you think kind of puts you in a better position to be able to get the outcome, knowing like you and your business partner and then that kind of dynamic? Do you feel like going in there like, hey, I've done this, but obviously I can back out of it if you're not cool with it, but I feel confident enough in it to be able to actually put my balls in the line and say like, this is what I'm pretty sure we should do?
I mean, yeah, I just think that would, obviously be better. It's a little bit more powerful that way.
Yeah. And it's sort of like, it's that burden of responsibility, right? If you're going to take the win, you have to be the one who's willing to take the loss, right?
Yeah.
Cool, man. How do you want to proceed from here?
Well, I definitely think that'll work. I can bring it to him. I just, the way I make decisions, I always just sleep on it for 24 hours, like it's just the way that I do things. It's the way I've always done it.
Not a fucking mattress, mate. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, man, like that kind of makes sense, right? Because like you're on, you sort of, this is a new thing. You guys are looking to scale and ramp up, and it's like you're on this side of the bridge and you want to kind of get to that side of the bridge, right?
Yeah.
And so we all kind of make decisions based off where we are, based off our own perspective. And so I guess, I guess ultimately, are you, let me ask you a question. Are you kind of 100% happy with where you're at in terms of the social media, marketing, XYZ, whatever the problem was?
Obviously not what to call. Yeah. No, I'm not.
Okay. And so that kind of decision-making process has caused you to kind of, I guess, ultimately not be happy with your results and where you are right now, but also like the decision that you're, the exact thought process you have right now, right? It's caused you to be where you are. How much longer do you want to allow that decision-making process to kind of dictate, the results of the business moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of the question is like, what decision will I make? Because, I could also put this into, the SEO thing and it might
Yeah.
work. But like, no, I don't want it to, I wouldn't want this to have us keep getting these results on social media for much longer.
Much longer?
Yeah, because
Like
it
how,
has
like how much? Like 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years? What's the
Yeah.
good time? What's the time frame?
Yeah, not much longer. We need to make a decision pretty soon here.
What's that though? Like, I always say, like, let's just say I took a 600-pound guy and I took a triathlete and then I swapped their brains, right?
Yeah.
Like that 600-pound body with the triathlete brain makes the decision as soon as it gets into that body to get to, because that body is a triathlete. It's just out of shape, right? They start swimming, running, cycling the second they get in that body, right? Because they do the thing. A triathlete is not someone who competes, and you have to start training to be a triathlete. You have to be a triathlete. Do you know what I mean? In your brain, you have to already be there, right? And the 600-pound brain in the triathlete body makes those decisions as well, right? And so, like, putting it off doesn't really help. You know what I mean? You either start making the decisions, and once you make the decisions, you act, right? It's like, you could start your diet on Monday, or you could just start it now. Which one benefits you more?
We'll start it now, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, like, what do you feel like you need to do to kind of put yourself in the best position to be able to actually get your business to where you want to be?
I just really feel like I need to, like, go work through this in my mind to make sure that this is the best thing. Because, like, obviously, like, it's important, but there are other things that are important too. So, and those things are working.
Yeah, for sure, man. And that's all we can do is do the thing that we think puts us in the best possible spot, right? But if the only way that you can know that it was a good decision is if you did it, how do you think on that?
I mean, that's a good point.
Right? Do you feel like what I've put together, given your kind of best educated guess, do you feel like it would work?
Best educated guess, yes. But
And do you feel like the testimonials were real, or do you think we faked them? AI, maybe?
no, I'm sure they were real, but like, how many people, like, those are your best ones, right? So
For sure. So let's just say worst case scenario, right? You got 3, best, worst, middle.
Mhm.
Worst case scenario. It shits the bed entirely. Are you broke?
No.
Best case scenario, it hits and you are the next Alex Hormozy. Is that a good thing? It's unlikely. I will say that.
I don't know.
Like,
Yeah, some parts could be good. Yeah, some parts.
Yeah. I mean, being a 30-year-old billionaire would be all right? It's a living. It's a living. And then the middle case scenario, it adds status, gets more leads, and does pretty well. And just overall gives you guys another lead source that allows you guys to nurture people more. You know what I mean? And just get more authority in the marketplace.
Yeah. Right.
So best, worst, middle, all of them are okay.
Yeah.
Worst is not ideal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So what are the tangible action steps that you as a CEO need to take in order to put your business in the best position to be able to actually achieve the outcomes that you want?
I guess I just need to make a decision.
Okay. And how much longer do you want to put off making a decision?
Well, not much longer.
How much longer?
Well, I'd really like to have just 24 hours to sleep on it, just to make sure that it's good.
Make sure it's good.
Yeah, because I still feel kind of hesitant,
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
I just think, 30 grand it's not nothing, I'm not
not
gonna be broke, but it's a pretty big investment from our marketing side.
Yeah, for sure. Do you feel like if you were making more money, it would be less of an investment?
Like, it would be less of a hit. Yeah.
Yeah. And how much longer do you want that to be a big hit?
Well, I don't want it to be a big hit.
Okay. So what do you need to do to make 30 grand a sort of relatively investment for you?
I guess I got to invest.
Okay. So what do you want to do from here?
Let's move forward. What are next steps?
Give me 30 grand, motherfucker. Right? As a prospect, like just give feedback, like how do you feel? Just like tell the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I felt, like I really did feel kind of hesitant through the whole thing, but I just think like step by step, I just kind of saw how the only way to stop feeling that hesitation was to actually do something. Because just like putting it off was, I just think a lot of the analogies you use is kind of like, yeah, it doesn't make sense to keep thinking about it, even though that's like what I wanted to do. But it just came to the point where it's like, no, if you really want to feel better about it, you just got to like move forward. So it's just kind of like a slow burn,
Yeah. I think the key is like it's a systematic approach, and it's just dealing with one thing at a time and just staying nice and cool and calm and collected. Like people tend to get a little bit agitated and freak out, right? You know what I mean? And then it's not about the word tracks. I want everyone to sort of ignore the word tracks, like they're sort of irrelevant. It's just the it's just seeing a problem and then getting the person to overcome it themselves. Because like I can say, yeah, but you should just do it, in 1,000 different ways. It's just not going to be very meaningful to that person. And so it's like, okay, I handle money, great. I handle partner, great. We're now into like the sort of think about it territory. The think about it is just an apprehension of like, it is a lot of money. I mean, it's fair enough to want to go away and think about it a little bit, but also like if I've tied off money and partner and the only thing that they're really saying is like, I just really want to think on this to make sure it will work. Like there is no amount of thinking you can do that will solve that, And so I know that I have to go like, okay, so I just have to make this person more certain. Right. I also have to make them okay with making a decision where there is no absolute certainty, which is kind of the tricky bit. So I have to go, okay, first and foremost, let's establish this is really the thing that is going to work. You know what I mean? And then we have to establish that there's no way you can know that it will or won't work. Right. And that's kind of like once we establish that, then it's like, okay, we're just kind of hoping and dreaming anyway. But we have to let it be like there is no 100% certainty here. Like I can't provide that for you. And if that's what you want, then you're waiting for something that can't be delivered. You're waiting for the perfect man or the perfect woman. It's like they don't exist. Everyone has flaws and faults. So like, sorry, there's only one of me. Right. That was good. That was good prospecting. That's a good thing to do. I appreciate that. Okay. Has anyone got any, I want to go through some questions, but I would like to keep them concept based if we can, and strategy, and not like individual word track hyper specific. This one guy spoke to me once and said this. Okay. Let's go with Big Rez.
Hi, Matt. I just want you to, I want you to dissect what you're doing. Like, I know you've used a bunch of reframes and analogies, but can you just purely rely on that, or are you doing anything else? If you could just sort of strip away what I can see on the surface and go beneath so I can understand.
For sure. So once you're in fear territory, all you're trying to do is like identify the underlying issue and the underlying concern. For this particular role play, it was I want to make sure it's going to work. Now that is something that none of us can do. It's like saying tomorrow, I just really need to make sure I wake up tomorrow. I don't want to go to sleep because I just really need to make sure I'm going to wake up. I just need to think about that. It's like you could die.
Yeah.
Like someone could murder your face while you sleep. You won't know, and so this is a level of certainty in which cannot be obtained, right? And so once you're in fear territory, you kind of have to get them to look at things in slightly different ways, and it's like getting an arc, right? a lot of people will try and like flip them really quickly, and it's like, no, but this, right? And you kind of use logic, but again, you know, I'm not sure if it was on this. Did I tell the story about how I have like an unrational and totally irrational fear of like tall buildings? Okay, so I have a completely irrational fear of tall buildings. I have no idea why. It's not even being on them; it's being in them. Right? It's very weird. It's completely irrational. It's a phobia. I don't know why it exists, but it does. Right? I've literally, those of you who know Centerpoint Tower, I have helicoptered onto it and roped off the side of it. Okay, so like I've done that because I used to be in special forces and all that kind of stuff. But being inside of it, I fucking hate it, mate. It's like full panic attack mode. So I was going up the elevator because we were going up to dinner because 9/11 maybe. No, it's not because it's not 11. I'm not afraid of the government faking a building getting fall down. Right. So let's get into that, people. But yeah, so you know, and I'm basically having like almost like a panic attack. And you know, if someone was in that time going, man, the building's safe, like fuck you, we're all gonna die. Right? Like there is no rational to that fear. And so fear most of the time, like if you're afraid of a snake, that's completely rational. You should be afraid of a snake, right? Especially where I live, you know? But like, you know, most fears are a little bit irrational. And so dealing with it with logic is just not a good idea. So you have to deal with it, that like they have to work themselves through it. And then how they do that is a little bit individual. But all my job is to kind of like pose the question that maybe gets them to look at it differently. And so like my questions are like, you know, examples are like, okay, well, like how will you know? Just a simple question like that. Okay, so like how would you know? The problem is it has to be delivered in a curious way. It's not, yeah, but like how would you know? That's not going to go well. You know? You know, and so it's just about finding that and then being able to, and a lot of it is conversational fluency.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like being good at talking to people is that side of it. There's a little bit of that because I have to be able to kind of put things together. Now, what you can do is you can put together common themes and then simple reframes. Like that 600-pound person one, I've used that 12,000 times. Because it's a really simple one of like the brain dictates, like it's the action that dictates the identity. Right? Like I need to start acting as if I'm a triathlete, and then my body will fall into line.
Yeah.
Right. But without the action, there is no thought. The way that human brains work is feeling, thought, action. Right. I had a friend of mine who was in a helicopter crash and he lost the ability to feel emotions for about 1.5 years. Right. It was a brain injury. Right. It was very interesting. It was like catastrophically sad to see at times because he was a fucking ruthlessly brutal human being. Like kids would walk in and be like, fuck, you're fat. Right. Like brutal, ruthless, like horrible. But he could not even make a decision to put on a shoe. Right. Because he had no feeling. He had no emotional weighing between left and right. Whereas when you put on your shoes, you choose, you feel like putting on your left shoe first, and then your right shoe, whatever. Okay, like that's a feeling. It's an emotion. So he lost the ability to make choice, to basically make a choice. Okay, and he also lost memory because without an emotion, there's no memory anchor. So he has no memory of that time whatsoever.
Wow.
Right? So, which is quite interesting. Without an emotion, there is no ability to store memory. So yeah, so it's pretty interesting. But so you have to feel something, to think something, to do something. Right. And so looking at it that way, it's sort of, you can start to sort of uncover, and then you can start to sort of pre-script certain really common issues. And they're just really subtle ways of getting a person and gently nudging them in the direction of like seeing the error in their decision-making process and their, you know, the error in their like, well, I need to make sure this is going to work. It's impossible. And they're going to get into analysis paralysis, and nothing will change. You know, so that's where all those analogies do the same thing. That it's the exact same thing. It's just designed to go, this is the way you're currently thinking, which is fine and makes sense. But what about this? And it's quite gentle. And then they go, oh, I hadn't thought of it that way.
Mm.
And that's when they start convincing themselves. Make sense?
Makes a lot. So what you're saying, just to summarize what you said was use conversational fluency to redirect the conversation in a curious way, and then plug in the reframes and analogies. That's it.
Yeah, that's once you get into that component where you've tied off money and partner, right? I had the money, I had the partner, I had all that stuff. Without that, it's moot. It's a waste of time, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, like, most of the time, the money and the partner thing will just tie it off. You know what I mean? Especially if done in like a non-aggressive way. You're not like forcing their hand. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right, cool. Luis.
Yo, so at what point or what would be the criteria for you to go straight for the deposit? Like after you've, tied down certainty, tied down money, tied down spouse?
I mean, if they don't have the money, right? I would probably, I could get them to tell me what they have in their bank account pretty easily. Like, hey, this is a good one. It's like, hey, once you've tied everything off and they're in, right? Like, yeah, you have to make that assertion if we're going to talk about this, right? Like they really want to do it and they're in, we've got rid of everything else. It's like, hey, so like no bullshit, no ego, no nothing. I can't hit a target I can't see. Like, what are we working with? Do you have 1,500? Like, what do you have? Because I don't want to leave you like with no food because that would be stupid. Right? It's like, what are we working with here? Let's just have an honest and frank conversation. And they'll go, yeah, this. And you go, all right, cool, man. Like, let's work this out. You know what I mean? And if they have $1,000 to their name, don't take 500, mate. Like, I mean, just fucking be like, hey, why don't we reconnect when you're not poor as fuck? All right? Like, let's do that. Because ain't nothing worth going hungry. You know what I mean? And I think we should all have that as an ethos. We shouldn't take people's last dollar.
For sure.
Right?
Cool.
They can sell their fucking car, though. I've done that many times.
Well, how does that combo go? Do you like?
Well, do you want to do it? Yeah, sweet. Well, do you have a fucking PlayStation? Yeah. Why are you playing PlayStation, you broke fuck?
So logistically, so they do a deposit and then you
like
guys
the bus.
reconnect?
Right? No, I just take the bus, go sell your car. Like if it's something they really want to do and it's like a good program, don't make people sell their cars for shit programs, right? Don't do it. But I've had people sell their cars. I've had people, like I have a document which I'll put in there. It's called 57 ways to find money. One of them is selling blood and semen. So don't some of them are funny. Selling a pet, right? You know what I mean? But there are a lot of ways to make money. There's some funny ones. But there's tons of ways. You can look around your room right now and find $2,000 worth of junk you don't use that you can sell on Facebook Marketplace. All right? Anyone right now can go on and do Uber Eats. And if you're too proud to do it, then fuck you. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. I've delivered food. I've been a barista. I've been a waiter. You know what I mean? I've done it all. I don't mind. I'll do it again. I don't care. If I had to feed my family. I never will, but I'll never have to do that again, but it's fine. All right, cool. Makes sense. All right, Joe. Mine.
Hi, mate. That'll do. I don't even know how it's fucking pronounced either, to be honest.
What?
Yeah. So.
Fucking. What? You what?
I didn't know how it's pronounced either, to be honest.
Oh, okay. All right. I got you. All right. Wales, Northern Ireland. Where are you from?
England.
Yeah. Which bit though? North, right?
Newcastle.
Yeah, I was gonna say fucking. Yep.
Yeah. So
I've got family in Newcastle.
Oh yeah. Fair play.
Yeah.
Min City. But yeah. So the question was, so obviously you got into the fear with that, but I guess earlier on he was given uncertain language as well. Would you wait to handle the fear?
Yeah. Handle money. Handle the logistical stuff first.
Right. Okay.
Right. Always handle that. Don't divert. Don't get distracted. You know what I mean? Because you need the backstop of the logistical tied off. Otherwise, the rest of it is somewhat meaningless.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Makes sense? Fucking Geordie. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Cheers.
All right. Go enjoy the Geordie Shore.
Mate, my cousin used to be on that.
Really? Which one?
Marnie.
No shit.
Yeah, I had to stop watching it when I watched my cousin getting fucking railed. So.
Yeah, bro. She was a wild one.
Yep. Yes, she certainly still is.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember. Yeah, I remember who that was. Yeah. Hilarious. Those of you who haven't seen Geordie Shore, fucking treat yourself. If you like trash TV, Geordie Shore is a absolute fucking like dog's breakfast of a TV show. It is incredible. It is it's what's the New Jersey one?
Jersey Shore.
Jersey Shore. It's that, but way worse.
They did a very good
Way
episode
worse.
of South Park of that one of Pookie, I think.
Geordie Shore is wild.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, Lucio.
Okay.
I love trash TV. It's one of my I love trash dating shows. Me and my wife watch them. I love them.
Your shit meal. Okay. First, dude, I wanted to thank you for the space here because like I cannot stress enough in this fucking week. My skill level for objection handling has raised the bar significantly. Yesterday I closed my biggest deal and it's
Good
been
stuff, man.
awesome. No,
Good stuff.
but honestly.
From now on, everyone should start their question with 30-second adoration of myself. This is that. Just kidding. All
Should
right.
we call you like King Matt or King
No.
Ryder?
It's all right. It's all right. Either one.
Okay, good. Okay, so King, tell me. Main thing I wanted to check all the knowledges that we went through. I had first here when we start, like if they think it's helpful, you have the castle, then non-binary language, easy understanding if they want to have the conversation on installment plans. If the partner comes up, Brown, that is something that we didn't go through the role play today, but that's one that I took. And then on perspective, so fear, it would be bridge, triathlete, and best, okay, and worst possible scenario. And I think I'm
Yeah,
missing one.
yeah. That was the one I went through. Yeah, it's not like a hard and fast rule, but yeah, like that was a good sort of like flow chart synopsis of what happened. Yeah.
No, okay.
Great.
Cool. Thanks.
Awesome. All right, Sage. By the way, you're like a Tesla just driving around by itself.
Yeah, I was.
Sick.
I was on my way to a sale that I'm about to jump into right now. But
Feature.
when it comes to solar, you're obviously not, well, maybe not so obviously, but the way that we do it at our company is we're always 95% of what we sell is a monthly energy bill. And so I just wanted to pick your brain a tiny bit about, and maybe the answer is just dead simple, but since we can't start with a paid in full and then break it up, I suppose, and there's never really a logistical money concern, really. Like if they say that they have a money concern, then it's actually just a sales issue. Like I didn't build a big enough gap earlier, right? Or is there any a difference in the way you'd approach that if you were going to pitch them monthly from the beginning?
Well, I guess what I would do is sort of go like, let me have a look at my pitch, and then from there, like, am I gonna start out with, I guess, a larger system, like more kilowatts? Do you know what I mean? And then from there,
Sure,
drop to potentially a smaller amount of kilowatts that still kind of gets the job done. Or maybe I do like a package that includes larger kilowatts and a battery, right? And then I have one that's like no battery, right? You know what I mean? So you sort of, it's just, if you can roll a bolt down a hill, it is always easier. So sometimes just like build the hill.
Okay.
Right.
But you're always going to be basically giving them more stuff first. You're not going to start somewhere and then just go like, okay, well, if we gave you some sort of discount, that's just going to lower your status, right? You'd never go for something more like that.
I don't believe in the status thing. I believe I'm not a big fan of that. Because like, I think you should just make the sale. Right.
Okay.
I think
so maybe
like,
possibly discount is like a good approach. Like if they're like, no, I really don't feel good about this. Like, okay, well, if we lowered it a little bit, do you feel like that would, get where you're wanting to go?
And I think if you do go like, hey, well, like money aside, do you feel like we can, again, you got to script it out. It's like, because there's got to be something more than just a saving. That's the logical side. There has to be like an emotional side. So during that sales process, you need to sort of tie those two together somehow. and figure out, like we said the other day, it's like, is it to save the environment, make it seem like they're saving the environment for status?
Yep.
Is it to save money so they can, what are they going to do with that money? What's the plan? Like how, like what's the point? Is it for like energy independence because of fluctuating bills and they're a fucking prepper or something like that? So again, like, do you feel like we can mitigate the fluctuations in your bill and actually kind of like allow you to stop relying on the grid? Right. So again, you've got to enter some of that into the conversation, because you have to give yourself enough ammunition at the end. Maybe start a little bit higher, add something on there, right? Like have two packages, right? One is like the fucking energy independence package, and one is like the fucking, like my neighbors think I'm Greenpeace package, whatever. You know what I mean? And then like, so you start thinking about like, how do I tie what they're gonna buy to their tangible and like emotional outcomes, and then from there, like how can I give myself some breathing room, to then like drop and then like, but keep solidifying the point that it achieves an outcome. Right. Otherwise, you're just selling a widget, right? And with Soul, like you can do that. Like I've done those role plays. Like we have, trained guys that become really good at doing that and finding that kind of like, emotional tie-in. It's just that you have to start really starting to engineer and get a couple of key pieces of information throughout it. Does that make sense? Yeah. But like, let me know how you go. Like sort of, war games and different things, and then it's a process that you just get better at, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
Cool. All right, Ron.
Hey Matt, hope you're doing good today. I noticed that when you were getting into the objection of them kind of being hesitant, you kind of just went like, okay, so like, why do you think you haven't proceeded ahead? And then like, do you think the product will work? And then you kind of went to like testimonials, and then you gave the analogies. Could this also be a time where you could insert like, okay, well, like I know you told me before, but what do you think about it? Is it going to work? And just get them to kind of go in and kind of do that whole resell again.
Yeah, for sure. Like, some of what I said was buffering.
Okay.
Right. I was buffering. I was like, all right, that's tricky. How do I put these together? You know what I mean?
Okay.
So like, I'm just probing. And it's like, I'm just sort of like, I'll throw this out there. Why do you think it would? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not listening to him. I'm just trying to figure out in my own head. But it's just sort of like, right? Is it, And so I'm just trying to find the angle that I need in order to kind of get there, because like I know I'm close. Right? I've tied everything off. I know I know what's stopping him, and so I'm just like, okay, And when they're giving me like non-definitive language, lots of maybes and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, I guess it'll work. But like, why do you think it would? Do you feel like testimonials are fake? Maybe it's AI, right? So like, I'm just being kind of ridiculous because they're not AI, And so like, no, I'm sure they're real. So like, I know that that's going to be the answer. That's kind of a throwaway, but it gives me a little bit of like, it's a throwaway that I know will do nothing but positive. And it's like giving me a little bit of brain space to kind of figure it out.
I guess it also kind of gives them a indirect, like maybe you're being ridiculous, like by not kind of jumping on it almost type thing, right? But I guess it's just there's never going to be a negative to getting them to go back as to why they think it will work, because I would assume that'll just anchor more emotions. And when they're thinking why it'll work, they're probably putting themselves in the first person example of it working. So then that would anchor in the emotion, I assume.
I mean, I wouldn't say there's never, because like people are weird. You know what I mean? But a good chunk of the time, I think you'd be fine with that.
Okay, awesome. Appreciate you. Well, thanks so much.
No worries. Sveta.
Yes, I think it will be an annoying question for you because I know that you've been asked that question twice, and I still fully don't understand how to approach it. So
that means I haven't
thank
explained
you.
it very well.
Okay. So when you were all playing right now, you started from the moment when you dropped the price, and then you're asking, okay, money aside, would you feel it would be an answer for you? Do you ever ask commitment question before dropping the price? Like exactly the same question after you just presented everything. And then you drop the price and ask the same question, knowing that they already gave you an answer before dropping a price. Does it make sense? Yeah, like I presented like, I don't know, program.
No, we're just
3
using
weeks.
different nomenclature. So a commitment question to me is not that. Right.
Okay.
So that's where I think the confusion of terms. A commitment question is like before the pitch, right? And you're like, you know, it's sort of a commitment to make a change, right?
Okay.
You know, it's like, or so you're pre-pitch, you've gone through like some consequence question type stuff, like what happens if it doesn't? And then from there you're like, okay, so, you know, is it time to make a change? Yes,
Uh-huh.
like that's commitment, right? And then from like I would never ask that after it because I'm just gonna go, how do you want to proceed? Like, what do you want to do from here? Like what are we doing? Right?
Okay.
So
So you just finish the presentation and straight away drop the price and then ask, how would you like
Yeah.
to proceed from here?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't need any more filler. I what I want to do is I want to keep it short and because time. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
I don't want to have the longer the time between the consequence, the pitch, and the yes, the less likely they are doing it.
Yeah, the reason I was trying to ask them before dropping a price, my approach was I would ask, do you feel it would be an answer for you before they know the price? And they would say, yeah. And then like, why do you think that way? They would
Nah,
say
because
something.
I would like them to have the context of the price when I
Yeah.
ask if it's going to be the answer.
Okay, got it.
Again,
Yeah, you
like,
answered my question.
Yeah, it's like what seems easier
Yeah.
is harder.
Yeah, it's
Right.
exactly. Then I would all the time confront, oh, okay, they will
But what about
explain,
the
and then
price?
when they
Yeah.
see the, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Ryan?
Thanks.
Yeah, time.
Mhm.
All right, Michael. You're on mute, buddy. It looks great though. You're on mute. I guess you're still on mute, but I don't know how to.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah, I just had a quick question. So in terms of when you're handling objections and you're going through like the reframes, everything, are you pretty much just going through that with a whole like curious tone? Or are you ever like challenging them with your tone? Or I guess like what would you say your demeanor is during the whole process?
It changes depending on how much time I have left. Right. So, and that's not like out of frustration or anything. It's like I'm gonna stay very probably the first 2 to 3 loops I'm gonna be pretty leaned out, and then I'm probably gonna start getting a little more daddy on them.
Okay.
Right. So I'm gonna shift it up a gear when I start using more definitive language. So instead of going like, yeah, you know, so like I'll be like, so what do you need to do to actually kind of get this going? Right. Like that'll be stage 1. And it's like, so you as the actual business owner, like, you know, the person who's bearing the burden of the responsibility, how much longer do you actually want to put this off? Okay. So you can see the tone shift and the pausing of like the actually want to put this off. Like it denotes a far more challenging tone, but I'm going to do that towards the end because now I'm starting to take swings. It's the bottom of the 9th and we're down by 4 and we're like, fucking swing away, motherfucker. Right. Like we got to hit some dingers, you know? And that's the way you got to play it. You're like, oh, I got no time left and I'm either getting this or I'm not.
Okay.
You know? That's the fun part, you know?
Hit them with the ding, right?
Exactly.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
No worries. Just make sure you don't start there. I mean, you can. It's fun. Like I'd recommend everyone do it at least a couple times. If you get someone who's like quite assertive on the call and like really wants to pitch early, and you deflect and they don't do it, just go, all right, it's 10 grand. What do you want to do? And then just start fighting. You know, it's a good like lesson. You know, because if you can do that, then the other ones are easy. Yeah. You know, I've done it. It's fun. I like it. All right, cool. Nelson, last question.
Hey, Matt. I run a mortgage broking biz and just help people pay off their loan faster. So usually we don't charge any fees. So there's normally no like money objection. It might fall into like comparing competitors or maybe like a value objection. Is there?
Well, you do charge a fee, right? It just gets rolled onto the mortgage when you refinance them.
Yeah. Is that something?
Is it like what do you charge? Like $5,000, and then from there you get the book as well.
What's that?
Do you only get the brokering fee, or do you get a
like I would say unless it's a really complex deal, we don't charge. So it's just like the lender commission. But
okay.
With
Yep.
comparing competitors like a value, is that something you pre-handle like in the discovery, or is like a
I
value?
usually will stay away from talking about competitors entirely. I find it would say it very rarely comes off good, right? Like it very rarely, you know. Although in saying that, in dialer, I shit on them pretty hard, but it's a different sale.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a different thing. Right? So I shit on them pretty. I shit on Alimer like crazy. But that's because they suck. And
I
everyone,
often,
yeah. But so it's I shouldn't, yeah. So I shouldn't say don't ever do it, but rarely do it. And there are instances to do it when it makes sense. But when you're trying to like weaponize it, but I think like for you. Are you you know, you have to like get the value proposition. If you're only getting a loan, what you need is friction. The problem is you have a frictionless sales process that ends in like complicated paperwork and then a settlement, right? So you get a yes because there's no reason to say no. So you need to make them pay something, or you need to make them sign documentation that feels more weighty than it is.
yeah.
On that call. So like I work with an exact same business, right? But they charge money for it. But they're very good at what they do. And we put in an authority to proceed. And it was a bullshit document that I made up.
Yeah, you mentioned that last time. I've created one since
Yeah.
then.
So then from there, like, because you need them to give you a yes or a no. It can't just be like, yeah, man, fucking sounds sick. Send over the paperwork. Right? Like, that just goes into the ether. So you have to create a friction point, because the hardest objection to overcome is the one that you don't get. So you have to incite the concern, you know? So like my thing would be like, just charge them $97.
Yep.
Like if they're going to say no to that, bro, they're not doing it.
Often they say, I've just got another meeting booked with like XYZ competitor sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then do you just typically reschedule for after that point?
No, they're buying on the call. No, I'm not doing that. That's a very particular line of questioning, but generally speaking, I would say like, okay, so like, what do you like? It goes down the line of I don't have time to do the whole thing, but I'll add that objection into this course, because like I have a call booked with a competitor. It's one of the funner ones to get. So, you know, it's like how will you know that you're basically it's how will you know like which is the right one, you know? And then from there you go through like a criteria in which they need, and then like you fit that criteria. So what's the fucking difference?
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah, I mean, like that's essentially like what it boils down to. It's a bit more nuanced than that, right? But that's like the idea of it. And so it's like, you know, let's just get after it. And each sale is a little bit different, to be honest, like how you do that when you're an agency, how you do that, whatever. Like when I did it at Sales Sniper, I would never let somebody off a call ever. And I used to just like ruthlessly objection handle them, because like, and it was really easy. Like for real estate agents, right? I've done some really great frames where it's like, hey, we have, 4 other brokers that we're speaking to, we've spoken to a few of them, and I'd be like, okay, sweet. Well, you found your broker, so you're fine. Like we're here, and they go this, and I'd be like, okay, well, when you have someone negotiating for you, going out there, finding deals, you know what I mean? And being your advocate to get you the best possible deal and go after buyers. Do you want that broker to be the one that sits back and the buyers say, hey, like, we'll send you an email, like we're interested, or do you want them to like go after the deal and get it locked up? Which one represents you better? Well, that one. Okay. And when you told the other guys that like you had more bookings with brokers booked, they're going to send you an email and contracts, and they just kind of walked out of here without a signed deal. What did they say? It's like, well, okay. So which one represents you better?
Yeah.
This. It's like, okay, so here I am. Like, that's what I do. Is that what you want representing you? Yes. All right, cool. So what are we doing from here? And it works like every time. It's like, because it's just so logical.
Yeah.
And I did the same thing with the sales agency. Like, oh, we used to have a couple of sales agencies. I was like, yeah. And when I was like, I used to laugh at them, and I go, and you gave them, I have other people, and they let you get off the call. That's who you want selling for you? pussies. And they were like, you're right. I was like, I'm here. Daddy's home. We make sale. And they were like, yes, Daddy's home. We make sale. Right? Like that worked on everybody. Everybody. Because it's a good one.
Yeah,
right?
cool.
At Daddy's home, we make sale. So again, like there's you can come up, you can figure it out, is what I'm saying. Like you can just figure it out. You know, you're like, oh, like I just had to figure that out because I wanted to make the sale. I didn't want to let them go. You know, but with software, like it's not going to go down like that. Right? Like I'm not Daddy's homing people into dialer. It's not happening. You know, it's a different sale. So you have to do it a different way, you know? And that's why sales is fun. It's unique. It's a problem, you know? But I think that too many people sort of try and solve it with word tracks when they should be trying, like think of the strategy, you know? And then like, how do you upstream it and sort of make your life as easy as possible? Right?
Yeah.
And that's all like all my stuff is just like, how do I make this easier for myself? You know? All right.
That makes sense. Thanks for that.
All right, guys. Awesome. Hope that was helpful. Next week, I think we have Cole on next week as a special guest who just got engaged, by the way. So we'll all give him a congratulations when we see him. But if you guys are enjoying this, feel free to spread the word. Get more people amongst it. There's nearly 500 people in the membership at the moment. Once it gets to 1,000, I make it cheaper. And then at 1,500, it gets cheaper again. At 2,000, it gets cheaper again. And then at 2,500, it's going to get cheaper again and again and again and again. And then it's going to end up being like fucking $4 a month. It's going to be amazing. That's the plan. I want to have 80 sessions a month for less than $100. That's the plan. So keep going, spread the word. Appreciate you people. Bye.